Alright guys, Game Night here, and this is going to be the first episode of my Madden 2019 franchise/dynasty. I've gone ahead and set my franchise up the way that I want it settings-wise. I have created myself as a coach, and I'm going to start with the preseason. I've played one single game of Madden online so far, so I figured I should play a little bit just to get used to everything. So what I'll do, I'll play my games each week, and we'll go through everything that happens every week, especially who gets cut, etc. So we'll start out with what some of the preseason storylines are here so far. Obviously Mike Zimmer fired because I took over for him. Talk of the Eagles repeating as Super Bowl champions, potentially the Browns going to the playoffs, Jimmy Garoppolo being the savior in San Francisco, Saquon Barkley being drafted by the Giants, and John Gruden being hired by the Raiders. So, I've gone ahead and started with the default roster that you get when you purchase the game. So we can kind of look at my depth chart here going into the first game of the preseason. Obviously, Cousins is going to be our starting quarterback. Cook will be our starting running back. Ham as fullback. Wide receiver is kind of deep, so we may need to make some cuts there, possibly here in the preseason. But right now we have Diggs, Thielen, Wright, Treadwell, King, and Colley as our main wide receivers. And our offensive linemen, Reef, Easton, Pat Elflein, Tom Compton, Mike Remmers, and then of course our defensive starters. I believe when you play a preseason game, Madden only has the starters in the first game, I think, for the first quarter, so we get a chance to see a lot of the young people that we have on our team. Have a lot of depth in a lot of positions. And we may need to make some pickups as well from other teams for cuts that are made here in the preseason. And our first opponent in the preseason is the Denver Broncos. So let's go ahead and get this game started, and I will talk to you all at the end of the game with a recap.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. Welcome to the special Saturday edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see the Minnesota Vikings, led by their new quarterback Kirk Cousins, as his guys get set to take on Case Keenum and the Denver Broncos. With that, we're off to the Rocky Mountains. Standing by in Denver, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, we find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. A moment ago, through a shower of pyrotechnics, it was the hometown Broncos taking the field as they get set to do battle with the Minnesota Vikings. Hello, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and partner, our long national nightmare is over. After 6 months away, we're back to playing football.
And this is way better than Watergate, isn't it? Now we get to have some fun. Watch the veterans. They'll play a little bit. We know that. But the big thing, this new crop of rookies and young guys, they get their chance to take the field and earn their spot.
The Broncos kickoff unit out there to kick this one away. And the mile-high air in full effect as that's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. Bringing them out will be Kirk Cousins, born just outside of Chicago, played his college ball for the Spartans at Michigan State.
I do hear some mild criticism of Kirk Cousins and his play the last few seasons in Washington, mainly because the team was just 24-23-1. But I also saw a quarterback with an offensive line that essentially introduced itself to each other in the huddle before the first snap in Seattle against one of the best defenses in the NFL. Win that game with big plays late. This is a tough-minded, hard-nosed, gritty quarterback that tends to inspire a team to play better around him.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. And a nice carry there of 15 yards. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, where that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defense.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Shaquille Barrett coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Well, let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
The Vikings' top 2 receivers match up with any pair in the NFL, and I'm talking about Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs. And how about this? Both underdog success stories. Diggs, a 5th rounder in 2015. Adam Thielen, undrafted in 2014. Now they're helping set the pace for wide receivers in the league.
Play fake. Cousins going deep for Diggs. And that one goes incomplete on the drop. That's one he definitely normally catches. 4th down.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. On 1st down, Keenum. And no, incomplete. Boy, they took a shot there on the first play, tried to start it out with a bang, but it's 2nd down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Now the former Utah man, this is Devontae Booker. And nowhere for him to go again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Anthony Barr in on the tackle. Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
throwing on third down. Keenum. And he's got Hireman. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. Solid gain of 18 yards and a Denver first down.
I know I spent a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. But he used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
He just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
Running again, and again it's Booker. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. From the gun, it's Keenum. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Everson Griffin in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
The first look at the NFL scoreboard comes from down in Arizona. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. And the early lead there belonging to the Cardinals. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. Now a first carry for Latavius Murray. And he finds enough of an opening to get this one back up to his 20. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Only a pickup of 2, but that's all they needed for the first. And they've got it here with a first down. This is Brown on the carry. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Brendan Langley there to get him down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
Now it's the backup Simeon. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, he's just trying to throw this ball into the hole in the zone, but those windows can open and close quickly, especially in the middle of the field. So if the timing's not right, we'll see interceptions like that one right there.
So the Broncos coming out now. They were forced to punt last time. Now, I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot. Great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives them a new set of downs. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Lynch. Escapes the defender. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it, now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. Lynch with it on 3rd and goal. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14.
That's quite a stand there defensively. A huge sack on 3rd down, and that's going to force him into a field goal attempt.
And McManus able to put it through. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-zip. So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal. So
maybe now the mentality changes in this game, because anytime you get to the red zone, if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
They'll run. This is Brown. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
Wide open receiver complete. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to Denver right after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. They go play action here on 1st down. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Clinton McDonald. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
Now it's Simeon. Rolling to his left. It's complete to Laquan Treadwell. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice 1st down.
It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10. Now before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Off of play action, Simeon. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down.
That was a terrific catch. I mean, to go up there and get it one-handed like that, but I almost want to go into that riff about back in my day, the gloves weren't quite like this.
When did gloves really become prevalent, just in general?
I think in the 80s. I think as we started to move through the 80s, especially as we got towards the latter part of that. But a lot of those were really like baseball batting gloves to begin with. Not much of a tacky area on the glove. In fact, there was none. I actually remember in cold weather games wearing the old scuba gloves, which you'd wear in diving, but they would split too easily in the course of a game. Then the glove man.
It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. In for the score. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Already looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
2nd and 10 now. It's Lynch. Oh, going deep here for Taylor. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Freeman. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. And hang on here. Freeman shaken up. Remaining on the ground after that last play. Definitely the last thing you want to see here in a preseason game. We'll be right back. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Taking it about the 16. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. And our attention here turns to Latavius Murray. And he's had his chances in this game. He just hasn't been able to find any daylight so far.
Patience, patience, patience. And that's the hard part for a runner because they expect every run to be a big one for something to pop. So they have to sometimes go through the struggles before it happens for them later in the game. But you got to give credit to the rest of the team. They've worked around the fact that he hasn't had his normal big game.
Yeah, despite his struggles, still winning here in the second quarter.
Leopard!
On 1st down, it's Simeon. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. Simeon incomplete on 1st. Here's 2nd and 10 now. 2nd and 10. Simeon again. The throw left side complete to Treadwell. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. This from 54 yards away. And Forbath will put... Boy, rough crowd. No football for 6 months already. We're skipping halftime. All right, let's get right back to the action. We're set for quarter 3. So we have reached halftime in our first preseason matchup of the year. Isaiah McKenzie now on the return. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with it. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up.
The coach is always hard on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end. Let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they? Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple yards out of it. So those defenders, they were out.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
Now a play fake here on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Simeon. Flushed out right. Shoves him away. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a third down situation. Now a play fake, and it's Simeon. And this is going to be incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. Lynch will lead up the Broncos here with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Kentrell Brothers in there to get him for a loss of 5.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Sheldon Richardson in there to get him, and this pass rush strong now. That's sacks on back-to-back plays.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Now Lynch. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tucker roll that they can fall back on anymore.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. That's fielded at the 8-yard line. Only 3 punts in NFL history have gone for 90 yards or more. You just witnessed one. It's number 4. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Leopard! Leopard!
Now it's Brown. And he'll power his way up near the 25. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
On 2nd down, here's Simeon. It's complete to Brown, right side. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
They'll run it here with Brown. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
All right, here we go.
Here's Simeon now on second down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Over the dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Simeon now to throw. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 36. On first down, Murray. And he'll be taken down at the 34. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Sometime in this 4th quarter, someone on defense is going to have to step up and force a turnover.
To throw on second is Simeon. Oh, a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Enough takes to start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
3rd and long. It's Simeon. They still can't get it. Hard throw, incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And that right there is something we've seen, 15 times in NFL history. That will officially go down as a 60-yard field goal.
And everything has to be absolutely perfect for this to have any chance. He's got to get it out low and really drive through it. And I tell you, that was one heck of a kick. One heck of a decision on the sideline to even try it as well.
Lynch will lead up the Broncos here with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll throw on first down with Lynch. Over the middle, he finds Henderson complete. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off-kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
Open man is Taylor. He's got it. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 45. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver 1st down. 4th quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You got the 1st one for the 2nd one to even matter.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Second and 10, it's Lynch again. To the sideline, wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run out.
And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack. Back at the 47-yard line.
Oh, man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
Launching one for Henderson, and that is incomplete. The Broncos unable to convert here on 4th. And the Vikings, they have the football now, an excellent field. Position. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. But they can thank their defense for another stop. And now look at the score, where they've got the football. They're looking pretty good.
They're looking excellent because now you're thinking to yourself, let's just take some time off the clock. Work it down. And, of course, you put another touchdown on the board, you can pretty much say bye-bye to this one.
Play calling here can be a little bit more conservative because of the lead.
A little bit more conservative. The biggest thing, everyone understands how to get the ball downfield and how to stay in bounds and make sure the clock keeps running.
And he's going to get this one down right to the edge of the red zone of the chalk of the 20.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, he usually gets it done. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. This defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in, and all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is, first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
No Thomas. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. The Vikings on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. They run with Thomas, and he'll take this one down near the 15. And quickly, we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. So out comes the field goal team once more. And Forbath will put this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it? The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Jaleel Johnson in there to get him the 6th time they've sacked him tonight. Lynch looking to throw on 2nd, and that's incomplete.
Started to look like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Lynch to throw. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. That one goes for 24 yards. First down now, but the clock continues to move. On 1st and 10, it's Lynch. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. It's a gain of 7, and it'll make it a 2nd down. And we've reached the 1-minute mark in this game. On 2nd down, here's Lynch. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And now the third down throw incomplete as well. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender is making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And out now come the Vikings. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. So he loses 3 yards there. Now third down. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college. And how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
Leopard!
On third down, it's Brown, and he'll get it out to midfield. Let's say, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up fourth down. A road win in the National
There you have it, everybody.
Football League.
Minnesota
Charles,
Vikings
you
pick up the
never take
victory
that for granted,
here in
no
week
matter
1 of the
who you're playing, no
preseason.
matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road,
Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the statistics here.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports.
Trevor Siemian was 9 of 15
From Denver,
for 159 yards.
good night, everybody.
And 1 touchdown. Kyle Slaughter, in his brief appearance, was 1 for 1. And Cousins was 1 for 2 for 3 yards. We held Denver to minimal passing yards, as Paxton Lynch only had 36 yards and, 91 yards, and Case Keenum had 18. And if Paxton Lynch is actually like this season, or has to play this season, actually plays like this in real life, Denver is in for a world of hurt, because that was awful. Rushing, Mac Brown had 9 carries for 22 yards, followed by Murray with 4 for 10. Cook had 2 for 16. Receiving, everybody kind of got into the action. Our leading receiver was David Morgan, 3 receptions for 40 yards and a touchdown. And Stacy Culley also had 2 receptions for 30 yards as well. Defensively, I think we had 5 sacks throughout the game. Looks like maybe 6. Jaleel Johnson, Kendall Brothers, Sheldon Richardson, Everson Griffin all getting sacks. I do believe we also had that Kendall Brothers interception.
Now, let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Once you're ready, go ahead and select Advanced. You have grades for each position that range from A. Browse available players to improve your team.
All right, let's go ahead and simulate here to week 2. If it lets us.
Start your week by installing your game plan.
So let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of the players who may have gotten cut or some of the transactions that have occurred here already. The Seahawks going to town signing some linebacker depth. Matt Moore to the 49ers. The Eagles signed safety TJ Ward. Not a lot of gigantic signings here or anything yet. The Bears traded for Nick Kwiatkowski. I never heard of him, from linebacker from the Steelers. Or trade him to the Steelers, and they get a 2nd round pick, a 5th round pick, and a 7th round pick. So obviously they got a fair bit of compensation there. The Green Bay Packers signed Dez Bryant. Cowboys signed tight end Julius Thomas. Kenny Vaccaro signs with the Broncos. Eric Reed, the Buccaneers. Blair Walsh to the Dolphins. And that is it for the transactions so far here for week 1 and into week 2 of the preseason. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and end there, and I will see you all in week 2 of the preseason when we take on the Jacksonville Jaguars.